Okay, we're looking at 15.5, your daily task assessment and your homework practice review. Hopefully you were able to download the papers that have the three-dimensional shapes and you were able to create those three-dimensional figures and have them handy with you so that you can visualize what a face is, what an edge is, and what a vertex is, and other characteristics that we're going to be talking about right now. So let's look at the first one right now and let's analyze what they're asking us to do. So they're looking at building a structure. So, and we just read it. Scarlet and Violet took turns stacking blocks. They start with a cube. Next, Scarlet adds a cylinder. Okay. Then Violet puts a rectangular prism on top. And Scarlet takes off the rectangular prism, and then she adds another cube. And they're asking you, what does a structure look like? And again, your answer choice is this one. Now, I get this a lot for this one when they say, no, none of these are right because none of them have a rectangular prism on top and then the cube. Well, that is true, but you have to read this section here, this part. They take it off. They take it off. I hear that one several times. The next one, we're looking at these solid figures here, and we're going to put them into 5 groups, and we're going to use what we know about solid figures to complete this table right here. We're going to look at figures that stack, figures that roll, figures with flat surfaces, figures with curved surfaces, figures with more than 2 faces. And again, we're just going to look at each one's attributes, and we're going to classify them in the group that they fall into. So we will look at figures that stack. That means we can put one on top of the other. So a cube, we can do that. A rectangular prism, we can do that. A triangular prism, yes. If someone keeps telling me, well, you can't stack anything on that edge right there. But if you put it vertically, then you'll be able to stack. And then a cylinder, of course. Which ones roll? Okay, there's only 3 that roll. The cone, the cylinder, and the sphere. Figures with flat surfaces. Okay, which one has a flat surface? Well, they all do. They all have a flat surface. They all have a flat surface, other than the sphere, right? The sphere does not have a flat surface. Someone always tell me, well, this is a flat surface. They drew a flat surface there, but they just drew that so you could visualize the 3D, three-dimensional characteristics of it, but it does not have a flat surface. Figures with curved surfaces. Well, here's a curve, the sphere. The cone has a curve here, and the cylinder. These are curved surfaces. Figures with more than 2 faces. A triangular prism has 1, 2. Cube has more than 2. Okay. And a rectangular prism, 1 and 2. Okay. It's very good. And let's look at the next question. What's the name of this shape? Rectangular prism. And if you have your notes, and the word right, rectangular, okay, rectangular prism. The word prism shouldn't throw you off. All right, nice work. Let's look at your homework and practice. And again, the first section is asking you to identify the names of the shapes here, of these items here, these objects. This is a rectangular prism. This is a cylinder. Now, someone always asks me, it doesn't look like the cylinders we've seen before. It doesn't as far as the height is concerned, but it still has the same characteristics as a cylinder. Curved surface there. Okay, it was just cut in half. This tent here is a triangular prism. Now we're going to look at what you know about faces, edges, and vertices. Remember, vertices is the plural form of vertex. Okay, faces, the flat surfaces. Okay, it has 2 triangles, 2, then 3 rectangles. So it has 5 first faces. The edges, this is what the dotted line, so you can count those. They're 9. And the vertices, those are where your 3 edges meet. Okay, and there's 6 of those. We go back to the rectangular prism. Well, first we name it. rectangular prism. Faces, there's 6. There's 2 squares, okay, and then there's 4 rectangular faces. Edges, there's 12 of them. If you count the lines, don't forget to count these dotted lines here. And the vertices there are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We're looking at a question here. Andrew, do this Venn diagram. Okay, we'll go back to the Venn diagram. Can Amber place a cone or cylinder in the diagram? Well, figures with 6 vertices, figures with 6 faces. Well, look, if you know a cone does not have a cone or a cylinder. A cone has 1 vertex, like this one right here. Okay, but because it's a point like this, we can't classify that as a true vertices because it has to be 3 edges that meet. If you remember your notes, because I get this one a lot too. Whoa, Mr. Lopez, a cone has a vertice, a vertex. It's this one right here. Now remember that the definition of a vertex is it has to be 3 edges that meet at one point. So no, it cannot be there. It does not have uh, 6 vertices and or 6 faces. Okay, so it cannot go. So neither one of those can go there. The next one is Mathis says that all of the faces of a triangular prism are triangles. Is this statement correct? No, they're not. Only 2 of them are triangles. The other 3 are rectangles. See that? Only 2, the front and the back. I'm sure you got that one correct. The next one, P is making a rectangular prism from cutouts. She has these figures. Which flat figure does Pia need to complete the solid figure? Okay. Well, if you look at this one here, see how it has, she has the 2 squares, but she's going to need 4 rectangles, one on top, one on the side, one on the bottom, and one here. And they only have 3, so it's another rectangle. And if you have it in front of you, you'd be able to see it. But some of you can visualize it just by looking at this. It just takes practice to train your eyes to look at them. Here's Trent is making a triangular prism from cutouts. He has 2 triangles and 2 rectangles. Which flat figure does Trent need to complete the solid figure? So then you have to, he's making the triangular prism here. This one here, he has the 2 triangles and 2 rectangles. So he's missing the third one. The third one is this one. And of course, it can't be a sphere. Okay. Multi-step, Victor, and we just go and look at each one. Victor stacks some solid figures. He starts with a cylinder. Okay. Well, this one doesn't have a cylinder. Then he puts a cube on it. He places a triangular prism on top of the cube. Then he takes away the prism and adds a cone. What does Victor structure? And again, walk your way through it. This is the key right here. Then he takes a cube on top, places a triangular prism on top of the cube. Then he takes away the prism. So he takes away the prism. So it's only the what? It's only the cylinder and the cube, and then the cone there, a triangular prism there. Okay. The next one, Yoshi stacks these figures from bottom to top, a cube, a cylinder, rectangular prism, a cone. Okay. He removes the cylinder and replaces it with a cube. What does the structure look like? And this one's the only one that has. He replaces the cylinder and puts the cube, and this is the one that has it. Okay. Because they took away the cylinder. Okay. So you have to be very careful when you look at those. Well, that completes your explanation of 15.5, the solid figures. I hope you're doing well. Again, if you have questions or concerns, please let me know. We're moving quite along. I may have to look at the remainder of the lessons if the need for us to speed it up or jump into some other objectives that I know you still need. we will do so. I will make that determination sometime by this Sunday, and I will let you know on Monday morning. So good luck with your quiz, and make sure you're taking those quizzes regularly. Okay? Again, if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know as soon as possible. This is Mr. Lopez signing off, and thanking everyone for doing such a good job. Thank you for being such great students, and thank you for being you.